headquarters in West Des Moines. I am the new Meeting and Event Administrator for ISAC, and I'm looking forward to talking to you a little bit more about some commonly asked questions about ISAC conferences. I can now say I've been here for a little over 2 months, so I am definitely settling in. I look forward to working with all of you in the years to come. I am here along with Rachel Bennett, ISAC's Marketing and Communications Manager, and Tammy Norman, ISAC's Office Manager. Before I dig into the presentation, I did want to let you know that I want to make this webinar more of an open forum. I will be outlining some of the concerns ISAC has had with their conferences in prior years, but want to treat this webinar as more of a question and answer time. Please don't hesitate to write your questions in, and I will be hosting the Q&A at the end of my presentation. First, I will talk a little bit about myself and where I came from. I'm originally from Manila, Iowa. From there, I graduated college from Iowa State University with a bachelor's degree in advertising. I took a position at Embassy Suites downtown as soon as I graduated college as the sales office intern. I held this position for 2 months when a brand new position opened up within the sales office, which was the convention services manager. This position was basically handling all the details of the conference. The sales manager would book the piece of business, and I would then handle all the details such as the food and beverage requested, room setups, any audio-visual requirements, etc. I was in the position for 2 years before I went to the executive meetings manager within Embassy Suites. This position was booking smaller pieces of business as well as doing all the detailing just on a smaller scale. I was in this position a year before I took on the association sales manager position and where I ended up at Embassy Suites. This job was mainly booking large association conferences, such as ISAC conferences, and then handing over the details to the convention services manager. I know you are all probably wondering why meeting planning after spending years in the hospitality world. And to be honest, I have always wanted to become a meeting planner. I went to the hospitality side right out of college with one goal in mind, to learn the ins and outs of hotels so that when I do become a meeting planner, that I would have the experience on the other side. I am passionate about event planning, and I hope I can make some positive changes to ISAC conferences. In the past, there have been some reoccurring concerns that ISAC has been receiving in the feedback that you provided us with our spring and fall school conference evaluations. I'd like to go through some of these and try to find a solution to these concerns. First concern would be coffee. As we all know, coffee is in short supplies at ISAC conferences. I know there have been questions on why that is. First off, coffee is very expensive at convention centers and hotels. At the convention center, coffee is between $4 to $5 a cup, or almost $50 per gallon. 1 gallon of coffee can usually get around 10 to 12 cups, so having more than 800 people at our conferences, you are talking about thousands of dollars just spent in coffee alone. With this said, I think coffee is very important to our members, and I feel there has to be something we can do to accommodate. The first solution is we will try to sell coffee sponsorships. Since coffee is such a hot commodity, I feel that our sponsors would want to sponsor this beverage. There have been a couple of options we have come up with that we will be pitching to our vendors for future schools. This is definitely an area I will be focusing heavy on, and I promise you I will find a solution to have coffee all day at our conferences. The next major concern is a Marriott hotel room. Marriott hotel rooms sell out moments after housing is open, which creates frustration from our members as everybody wants to stay at the Marriott. Having cancellations at last minute doesn't help our case to Marriott by wanting to increase our guest room block at the hotel. The sales manager just looks at our ending number of rooms picked up and sees that we are never selling out of the block. My solution is to start a waiting list. Once the Marriott fills up, there will be a prompt in housing that lets you know to contact me, and I will put you on a waiting list. I will then check with the Des Moines Convention and Visitors Bureau twice a week to see if any hotel rooms have opened up. If they did have some guest rooms open up, I will send an email to all the members on the waiting list, and it will be a first-come, first-served basis on getting that open hotel room. This will hopefully make a case to the Marriott in the years to come to give us more guest rooms, since we will be filling up all the hotel rooms in our ISAC block. I did also want to let everybody know to please remember to get a hotel room at one of our Overflow properties if you are on the waiting list. Being on the waiting list does not guarantee that a guest room will become available at the Marriott and that you will get that room. Speaking of overflow hotel rooms, our next concern had to deal with low pickup at our overflow hotels, which are the Embassy Suites and the Holiday Inn. It's very hard to negotiate good rates for our conferences when the pickup has not been great in the previous years. My next solution is to have incentives at these overflow properties. Embassy Suites will be offering double points to the guests that stay at their property. If any of you are Hilton-minded, having double the points on each night you stay there can be huge. Holiday Inn is saying that they can offer a complimentary breakfast if we increase the guest room rate by $5. The rate for Holiday Inn for spring school is $102, so for $107 you would get a continental breakfast with your stay. This is something that I would like to have feedback on for future conferences. Do you think having a continental breakfast for $5 more would be beneficial? Are there any other ideas that would make staying downtown more desirable? Please write your comments in and I can read them later on. There have also been concerns for having to pay too much or having to pay Wi-Fi at the Marriott. Moving forward, if you become a Marriott's Reward member, you will be able to receive complimentary Wi-Fi during your stay. Becoming a Marriott Rewards member is complimentary to sign up, so being able to save $10 to $20 on internet is something that I believe is a great deal. I will be sending out more information that will guide you through this process a little later on so you can all take advantage of signing up for this program. I know especially with fall school, the valet service at the Marriott was extremely slow. Some members have said that it took them close to an hour for the bellman to get their car up to them on checkout day. This is completely unacceptable in my eyes. My solution to this is communication within their internal staffing. Our Marriott sales manager has already been briefed on the frustrations of the valet service, and she is stating that this will be addressed for future years to come. Another concern was about the educational seminar topics have been lacking interest. My goal is to try to get some political or motivational speakers for future conferences. I also want to throw out there that I am always taking suggestions for any speakers you feel would be a great fit for one of our conferences. Please email them over to me at any time. I'm going to finish up by talking about the fall school date change. In 2017, ISAC will be changing the name and date of the Fall School of Instruction. ISAC will be moving the date to August and having the new name be ISAC Annual Conference. I know there have been a lot of questions on why this is a good idea, and I want to talk about them now. The first reason is the legislative process. This gives the ISAC Government Relations team as much time as possible to begin the lobbying process prior to the start of each legislation session. The next reason is cost. Moving the conference to August will enable ISAC to keep member registration rates as low as possible. November is an extremely popular and competitive time for conferences in Des Moines, and therefore there's no leverage for negotiating low rates for hotel rooms, conference meeting space, food, etc. The next reason is dates. Again, November is an extremely popular month, so there are a very limited number of dates that are available to book a conference of this size in Des Moines. Dates in November are further limited due to elections, Veterans Day, and Thanksgiving. Because of these circumstances, ISAC hasn't been able to lock in a consistent date, causing a variance in attendance from year to year due to scheduling conflicts with other events and activities for ISAC, the affiliates, and the exhibitors. Having a consistent date will assist everyone in planning and budgeting in advance for the conference. So why August? The ISAC Board of Directors considered virtually all realistic options, and this particular week in August presented the least number of conflicts among all affiliates. The board was able to lock in at lower rates than in November and other dates that were considered. It also was thought it was important to avoid other obstacles such as state fair, harvest, weekends, and traditional back-to-school dates. Lastly, August offers the ability to host conference activities and events outside, as well as avoiding the risk of winter road conditions. The last reason is influencing candidates. An August conference is in the prime time frame for hosting candidates during election years. An invitation to candidates to speak in front of over 800 local decision makers from across the state so close to the election will be extremely appealing during campaign season. Through these speaking engagements, our membership will be given the opportunity to educate and influence candidates prior to the elections on issues that matter most to counties. A full memo listing the reason and all future dates are available on the ISAC website. I want to finish up by just reiterating that I am very excited to take on this position and to try to tackle some of these concerns. I want to make improvements needed so that every year we keep having better conferences. But in order to do that, I need your help. I would love to hear your feedback on previous conferences, what you think we need at future conferences, etc. I am confident that we can work together to make these conferences a success. Thank you for taking your time to listen to this webinar, and I look forward to working with each of you in the future. Like I mentioned before, I would like to treat this webinar as an open forum, so if anybody has any questions, concerns, or suggestions, I would love to hear them now. And you will have to submit these to be able for us to see them, so please, you can do that now. I just also wanted to mention that registration for spring school will be open tomorrow starting at 8:30 a.m. So like I mentioned, if there are problems getting into the Marriott, if you would like to still get into the Marriott and it is full, please just send an email or call me directly, and I will put your name on the waiting list, and we can try to get you a room over at the Marriott. There was a question about non-coffee drinkers having tea and hot water available. I think this is definitely a good idea. We ran into this at New County Officer School as well. I know in the previous years there have not been any service to those people, and I definitely think those are important to have. So maybe not having a ton of this available, but definitely having something other than just regular coffee, I will definitely take into consideration. So thank you.
We had somebody ask, they had missed the first part of this webinar and wanted to know if they could hear it. It is being recorded, and in a day or two, it will be up on the ISAC website. We do have some questions coming in.
Okay.
Someone asked a question, this is Rachel Bennett, someone asked a question about any truth to counties being able to register for blocks of rooms at the conference hotels. We are not aware that this is the case. In order to go through the ISAC room block, you have to first register for the hotel or register for the conference through the ISAC website, and then you're sent an invoice. On that invoice, we have a link that you can get onto the Housing Bureau website along with a 10-digit ISAC ID. We monitor these registrations basically throughout the day, especially in those first couple hours when rooms are at a premium. And if we notice anybody signing up for more than one, somehow they get around the system, which I don't know that it's happened more than once or twice just with a bug. We go in there and delete the room, make sure to call them, let them know what happened, and ask them to register correctly. Go through and get another registration ID, which would require another registration. So no, we do not know of any truth to that happening, and if you do know that it happens, please let us know. Please let us know, how they said they did it, anything like that, so that we can make sure that this is a completely fair process. That's what we're going for, so everybody has a chance to get in the Marriott alike. I can go ahead and take this one as well. ISAC University is held every other year. So the ISAC New County Officer School is held right after the elections on election years, and then in that next year, it will be ISAC University. So in 2016 in January will be ISAC University, 2018 will be NCO School, and so on. So every other year is ISAC University. If you have any other questions, please send them in and we'll be happy to answer them.
And like I said before, I mean, if you have questions or any suggestions that come up in the near future, that I'm always open to them. So please feel free to give me a call directly or send me an email. I'm happy to work with you one-on-one. So please just let me know and I can definitely do that. I am of service to you, and I know that the membership is the best part of this organization, so please just let me know, and I can do whatever I can to make everybody happy.
I don't see that we have any more questions at this time, so we'll give you another minute or two. Oh, we have another one. Oh, we actually got some positive feedback. Someone has written in that how they love going to the ISAC school. So.
Oh, thank you. That's great to hear.
Okay, we had somebody, I think, that had missed out on the earlier portion of your discussion about why the fall school was being changed till August.
Yeah.
That you have that out. There's a handout, isn't there, on the website that kind of details that all out specifically. So if you want, that is along with the webinar information. So if you want to print that out or look that over, that will detail that explanation of why it was being changed to August. Also, we had a question if there will be enough room for all of us in Cedar Rapids.
Yes. We definitely have enough room to accommodate everybody. There's going to be a mixture of hotel rooms like there is in Des Moines. There's one directly at the convention center, and then we do have another overflow property within Cedar Rapids that we will be using too, but definitely enough room for everybody.
So as Kelsey mentioned it earlier, I'll go ahead and plug the educational seminars that we're going to be having at the spring school. We just got them up online yesterday. Our first educational seminar will be courthouse security. ISAC's been working with the justice folks and on courthouse security issues. So Rick Bush, the Director of Operations from Eagle Ridge Tactical Consulting LLC, will come and speak. I've heard that he gets rave reviews, so you won't want to miss that. The second educational seminar is regarding workers' compensation. It will answer the most commonly asked questions from counties regarding workers' compensation. There's a really large panel of very experienced individuals. They'll kind of be going over their experiences, real-life problems, real-life solutions, answering all your questions. And then the final seminar is called Media and Politics. Right now we've confirmed that Kathy Obradovich will be speaking. She'll talk about the lessons learned from the 2014 races, the campaign and debate process in Iowa, both past, present, and where she thinks it's going from here. And then she'll also talk about some inside stories and insight about the races, campaign process, all of that good stuff. We're working on another panelist, but we'll let you know if we do get that person confirmed as well.
We had another comment that from somebody that how they actually liked it when we moved our conferences around to different cities. And they wanted to, we're hopeful that we could do this more. And I know one of the reasons we are somewhat limited on that has been the fact that we are a large group and break out into the different affiliates, and not too many venues are able to handle that. And then the one nice thing about Des Moines, it is centrally located for the majority of the membership. So that's another reason I know we sometimes have had it in Des Moines.
I know we are booked in Des Moines until 2021, but that's definitely a suggestion that we can take at that point in 2021 to see if there is an option to move to different cities, so I'll take that into consideration.
We'll give you another minute or so if you have any more questions. And like we said, again, a reminder, this will be up on the ISAC website for you to review again. We had a question on who makes the final decision on conference locations.
The ISAC Board of Directors is the ultimate decision maker on the conference locations, the conference dates, and any major financial decisions that go along with conferences. Like Kelsey mentioned earlier, when we went through the process of changing the date from November to August, we went to the board with all options, basically any feasible option that there was. The board had an extremely tough decision. I believe it was maybe 3 or 4 different board meetings that it was discussed, and they really looked into every possible thing, I guess, and ultimately it came down to what was best for the membership as a whole. And changing to August, we believe, will be what's really best, and the board believes what would be the best. Again, there is a memo on the webinar page that discusses all of the reasons in depth for moving the conference. At any time, you're welcome to contact any of us with any specific questions about the move of the conference. We're happy to answer them. We are excited, and we hope that you're excited to move it. We feel like there's a lot of new opportunities that are available with the move, and it should continue to be great schools.
This is more of a suggestion. It would be nice to have a seminar on the different committees that they could be involved in as members of our association. Well, again, I think we have hopefully addressed everybody's questions and concerns, but if we did not fully do that today, please contact Kelsey or any one of us, and we will definitely do our best to address that for you. And again, a reminder, please check out share this webinar with other people that were not able to attend today. And hopefully we'll have that up either tomorrow or the next day on the website for you.
And thanks again for everybody for listening. Have a great rest of your day. Look forward to meeting all of you.
Thank you very much.